harpsichord.
Very good. Okay, what were the two best things about medieval music? Anyone?
Rhythm.
Okay, well, in my opinion, first of all, there was no rap music yet. And the members of ABBA had not even been born. So those are probably the two. This is a harpsichord. Its heyday was really, I'm going to turn this down a bit, was really after the Middle Ages. There was the virginal coming about in the late 1500s, which this has some relationship to. But to kind of get you into this whole thing, I have to talk to you about music in general. What was the first kind of music for what instrument? I mean, if you use a little logic here, you'll come up with it. Yes?
The harp.
Well, that's pretty early, but not everybody has a harp, but everybody has a
voice. Singing.
voice. Very good. Vocal music. And that's the real difference. If you join, anybody here in a band? So, what's the first thing when you want to learn a song, you ask the guy, what are the
melody?
Chords?
Oh, yeah.
Chords. Well, see, they're not thinking that way. They're training, because of this evolution of vocal music and instrumental music, they're thinking SATB. Anybody know what that stands for? Yes?
Soprano, alto, tenor, and bass.
That is correct. Soprano, alto, tenor, bass. The high female voice, the low female voice, the high male voice, and the low male voice. And that's how they thought. So when Johann Sebastian Bach gets born in a little while, he's not thinking, okay, here are the chords. He's thinking, here's my melody for the sopranos, and here's the second voice being the altos, tenors, or basses. And sometimes he had to write so much music, sometimes he stole from himself. As they say, when Bach stole, he stole from the best. But, so what other instruments are around at this time? You heard much of them earlier. I don't want to say on the CD, but on the CD. Yes? Yes, guitar-type instruments have already evolved. The earliest harpsichord we think we know of about 1425, right in that zone. Certain things had to happen here. One of the reasons, when you hear this sound, this is a fifth. In other words, my lowest note is 5 notes lower than my highest note. Now, when you hear that sound, do you not think medieval music? Because they move in fifths so much. As a matter of fact, the bagpipes drone right there as they play. So that is what's going on. And in order for music to progress, it got beyond that. But that's the sound that you normally associate with. So I'm actually going to play a little bit of Irish music. And that would have existed. Also, was music written down in the Middle Ages? Yeah. Well, until this Italian guy, I think his name was Tony Soprano. No, his name was Guido Averezzo. And he came up with this idea of writing notes down. He had this hand thing, the whole do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do thing that you, solfege, the whole thing that you might have learned in music, happened with him. So all of a sudden we can communicate other than orally. You know, people, of course, learn songs from each other prior to that. I'm going to play something kind of regular tempo and then something kind of slow. And I'm going to use a couple of sounds from the harpsichord. So here we go. Thank you. Now I'm going to add something to the harpsichord sound called a buff stop. I'm basically moving this lever, which is putting leather pads against the strings. It's going to mute it, make it sound almost like a nylon guitar. And I'm going to play something rather slow. Keyboard music is still pretty simple at this point. It's kind of an idea that gets harmonized. In the next couple hundred years, that will change dramatically to 5-part writing under the influence of Handel, Bach, Scarlatti. But without this kind of foundation, without the whole vocal idea, that wouldn't have been possible. Any questions about music or the harp?